Hello, and welcome to Urban Hood Money Talk. It's a fact that we need money to enjoy life and focus on the things that we really like. I'm your co host, Allie, and I'm here with Mushi Buyan. Our mission is helping you gain financial freedom. You're listening to one of our special weekly market talks, which provides news on the upcoming week that may be important to traders. And we're super excited that you're here with us.
Everything I'm sharing is educational purpose only. I'm not giving anybody any advice, what to buy or what not to buy. But at the end, I will share some of the ticker that I am thinking to take position. Biden went last week in Europe, met all those allies, and they came up with some positive news. And hopefully, some of the things we are seeing now, Ukraine is slowing down. Also, it's what's happening between Russia and Ukraine. And next, what happened and facts that 50 basis points move might happen. And I see that some of you already shared earlier or read everywhere that, last week that there was a meeting happened. Powell said, hey, he has all the ammunition or tools to raise the whatever it needs to be in order to control inflation. The key is here, folks, inflation is the key. That's why he said, look, if we have to raise in May, not 25 basis point, 50 basis point, he will do it. And market is assuming the whole year this is not going to be over 200 basis point this coming year. We'll see what happens in May. So that kind of market got panicked, boom, we saw the market went down. And one of the things that some of you already know that this new infrastructure investment and everybody is going into net zero initiative in energy. So there was a study happened by Bank of America. In that study, they interviewed thousands of companies worldwide and what are they looking to do in next 10 years, 15 years up to in order to be their net zero initiative. What they found out, since 2019, there was a study happened, and 2021, huge progress in 2021. That's why 90% of the companies are coming forward to be part of this net zero initiative. What to invest in next 18 months, 1 year, 6 months, look, big cap, what if happens? What if economy gets worse, right? You see that if in May they come up and there's an increase to 50 base point, that the market is not going to be react right. So at that time, what other stocks or assets that you should consider investing? That in big cap is one of those, healthcare, and looking to diversify your portfolio. It doesn't have to be all equity or all in this one asset. Look into multiple other assets, sectors, that in order for you to have a robust portfolio, adapt, make sure you adjust your strategy of investment. The conference in DC, that's when Jerome Powell mentioned, hey, we do not know every single thing that what might happen in next few months because of the surprise. Some of the surprise number happened, unemployment number, you are saying that it went much higher, and economic data coming up that is a demand of workforce also going higher. So when they're looking at the scenario, like last week, what happened, the yield that went crazy, 2 years yield curve went crazy high, and because of those 25 base point from 0 to 25 base point, boom, it reacted very fast, that 2 years yield curve. So that's something that later on I'll share with you, that kind of caused the others to get panicked. Is it going too fast? Fed knows that they can, with the current economy, if it goes with this current rate, we have some good numbers coming in. It does not have to be. Inflation does not have to be below 3%. Last week, so you've seen that what happened to the market. Nasdaq reacted very well, 2% up for the whole week. And then you see that oil, over $110 a barrel. So that's also caused panic in the market. S&P, NASDAQ went higher this week, which is good sign. Forex market also, you see that it started reacting the upside, which is still is good momentum that is trying to carry on in different asset sector also. S&P starting Monday till Friday, you can see that every day, slowly, gradually, it did try to break out of the NASDAQ. You have seen that out of all the other assets, big tech participated, and also like chip industry that did very well when the last week, Intel, AMD, NVIDIA, all of them pretty much performed very well last week. But yeah, you are saying that.
It's hard to invest in a 10-year. They want to give you, 2.5% for 10 years, 2.5% per year when inflation is 7.9.
Exactly. It's not attractive.
So yeah, you see that since January till now, the bond market overall is 11% down. So I do not know if anybody is saying, hey, I'm investing or I'm thinking to invest, because that's why typically when you see the stock equity goes down, people hedge for long term. So you say that 2 years, that yield curve that is went last week, crazy move. What happened? That kind of caused the whole market going down. What you are looking at on this one, that where you see the 2 years yield curve versus the 10 years yield curve, there is an inverted yield curve. So look at this here, that yield curve on this one, it went down. It's a downturn. It has to stay positive in order for us to start thinking, are we going to heading to the recession or not? But since 1976 till data is sitting here in 2021, and you see that when Powell mentioned that we are not seeing the indication that we're heading to a recession, but some of the economic data coming up is still they're seeing the sign of the growth, and the big caps are already figuring out their business model. They're adapting what's happening. So hence there are more and more economic data needs to be watched. That on the mortgage rate also last week, boom, it just went higher. All of a sudden, it almost touched 5%. That means it's going to get affected. Yes, if mortgage keep going like this, we know the inventory in the housing industry is already low, but demand is higher. It's not like going back what happened in 2007 and the whole housing bubble. It's not going to be like this, but so far, we are seeing this economic data is showing you that home prices are rising at 18 to 20% year over year. Last few years, there are huge demand. So demand curve is not slowing down. What's going to happen next week? I don't know. Nobody knows. But what I'm looking at that in different market, in Asia Pac, there will be a virtual summit going to happen between China and Europe. So watch out of that one this coming week. And same time, we have seen the Chinese stock, Baba, JD, most of them big one got hammered last week at the Chinese bank. Earnings are coming up. Hopefully that will also show us, is China's economy is in what shape it is. There will be an election in Australia. They will have a new prime minister election going to happen this coming week. Then in Europe is also now doing the same thing this coming week. They are going to be looking closely what's China's view of not only that Russia and Ukraine policy, plus also the other things they're looking at, supply chain, what are they doing, and the lockdown, and what effect was going to happen in European other countries. They're looking into that. In US market, there's a big one, this called board consumer sentiment. What earlier I mentioned, that look at the housing market, the data is going higher. This consumer sentiment are some of the data, economic data going to come out this coming week. Keep an eye on that one. But biggest one is going to be this coming week on Friday, that monthly job number is going to be released. That's another indicator that investors are looking at. We know the last month there was a big gap. Did it get closer? And that's something you might want to keep an eye on this. And of course, some of this data is going to get affected to see what is Fed view in the coming months, that raising over more than 25 base points. As they announced before, that this market is currently trading is as if it's going to be 200 base point increase this year.
Can you clarify what it means that the market is pricing at 200 base point?
The market, when a month ago or a couple of weeks ago, the Fed said this year they are looking into increase the rate 7 times this month, and market already assumed that is on a trade.
Oh, okay.
Then that's what remember he mentioned the 25
Right.
base point market celebrated it, boom, all these things.
Right.
Now
Yeah.
hiccup is coming in, as if that now that last week there was a big discussions happening. Hey, look at the oil. It went over 110 and keep going. And what's happening the energy in Europe side, but in US side, there are multiple other things is going in, and Fed comes in. Okay, we still want to control the inflation. How do we control it? Their now ammunition is increase 50 base point.
Right. Got it. Thank
That's
you.
what. Okay.
Thank you.
So earnings at the IVs is implied for IV implied movement, but I am looking into, when I'm looking into this, look at MU the Micron. Micron is one of the one that I have position. I'm looking into if there is any dip, I'll participate on this one. Usually I do not tell anybody to go in earnings side, but Micron is something that I will take advantage of it and looking at it too. This coming week, I am a buyer. I'm participating on the both side, buying side, sell side.
It looks like there's a announcement in the policy.
See, it's almost like what we heard that in 2019 when it's like, hey, Biden is coming up, let's have it's celebration, So yeah, there are more and more pot stock is coming back up. I'm surprised to see Tilray went so quick, so fast. So watch out.
That's the marijuana stock, right?
Yeah.
What happened was there's a new bill that's introduced for voting. They went into a party, and because the big bills can't go through, neither for banking nor for what was it, the expungement moves. But they came up with the idea that they can at least maybe pass through a bill that approves research on marijuana. At least people can start doing something towards future legalization, but none of the big things. So next week there will be a vote. So the moment they decided that this bill will go for a vote, everything started spiking. Actually, not everything, but the Canadian mostly.
Yeah.
Renee, was there some context about treating usage of this pot as a felony or something that
No, that's what I'm saying. Because it's very difficult to come up with an agreement on these big matters like the safe banking, so that you allow the businesses that deal with pot to take loans and do normal banking. Or the other big problem that is for the expungement of all the people that have committed crimes in the past related to marijuana. So those two things are too big for the two parties to agree on. So we know that's not going to happen anytime soon. However, they came up with the idea after a party they went to together that at least they can do a little bill that will at least approve research to start on the pot. And it's pretty broad. So at least I assume a lot of universities and companies will be allowed to do that. However, so far there's only mentioning for what the FDA and the CDC are going to be allowed to look at as data, but at least it's a step towards a little something related to pot. And by the way, the companies who spiked, they have nothing to do with that bill. Absolutely nothing to do with that. So, I mean, it's kind of unfair. All their stocks can trade on our exchanges, but we can't do nothing.
They're benefiting from it for sure.
So that's the deal. By the way, the spike in these stocks is absolutely unreasonable. It's because people don't know anything about it much. And they just hear the word marijuana and then, okay, we're going to go into those stocks. It has nothing to do with those. What's that?
We're in marijuana.
I know, I am too, but I'm just saying. I made, the day after, I made my money on pot too.
Oh,
But
man.
I'm just saying, it actually has nothing to do with it. I just saw it. Of course, you're gonna take advantage of the move, but
Right.
logically, it will all come back to normal.
I will be looking at like Five Below, Lulu, Ron. I
Is
gave up on
BlackBerry
it like
still a
very
Canadian company?
long time ago. I gave up, so I do not know. Are they?
Yeah, because at one time it was Research in Motion,
Mhm.
remember?
Mm.
RIM,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then they changed names back to BlackBerry.
Yeah,
They should just call it Crackberry because that's what they used to call it.
just like Nokia is like dead, Like,
Yes.
and the other thing is like Chewy.
Oh
Look
my
at
God, don't mention that name. again.
Watch Chewy. I am doing cover call on this one also, son. So I'm hoping in the either way it goes, I want to get it back. But let's see what happens. Let it burn more. So next week, some of the stock that I'm looking into this, Micron, as I mentioned, that RNet, but look at this future. Someone invested on Friday close to there was a dark pool that close to $1 billion, 860 million something put in there on future. So keep an eye on this one. Tesla, we all know that Tesla is either way, it's ready to break out either side, and it's there. And Facebook is just like crazy move it made last week. Next
So
week.
Moshe, this is Jack. Question for you on
Yes.
Tesla, because I'm Tesla trader day in, day out.
Okay.
What is your thought? Up, down? I mean, which way you are thinking to take
I am-
Yeah, what's your bias?
I'm thinking up. Well, Tesla is last week it does testing. Tesla is proving that it can stay above 1,000. So last week it did twice. It tried to go above 1,020. It just came back. But when it's doing it, Tesla would to me it would have break out if we would not have been sudden surprise. Tesla is ready to break out.
That's it for this episode, folks. Thank you for listening. And if it was helpful to you, please click the like button and follow us so that you can listen to more of our podcast. You can also visit us at urbanhood.org to learn more about our other programs. We hope you'll check in with us again. And until then, keep learning and do whatever it takes to reach financial freedom and